Welcome back into the Sports Source. This segment brought to you by Safety Systems. When it comes to security systems for your home or security systems for your business, call VFL JJ Surlis and the team at Safety Systems. I was talking to JJ this week. They are putting in systems all over East Tennessee. You will see those signs in yards. You will see those stickers in business doors. Let them do it for you. You'll see one of those signs in my front yard. They do great work. Can't beat them if you go to any of these national chains. You're going to get a better deal with Safety Systems than anyone else. I promise you. SafetySystems.com. And talk about great deals. Here's a deal for you. Instead of a phoner, today, we're going to take you live over to Lindsey Nelson Stadium and bring in our good friend John Wilkerson, the voice of the baseball Vols. And you're seeing me with an earpiece here. My apologies to the folks at home. I don't normally wear an IFB because I produce the show myself, but I'm wearing it so I can hear Mr. Wilkerson. John, thanks for being with us today.
Oh, great to do it again, John. Glad to be here.
Looks like a beautiful day for baseball out there.
Yeah, the best day by far this weekend. Looks to be a sunny day, temperatures in the 60s. So it will be by far the best day Tennessee's played under at home in quite some time.
All right, let me ask you a question. When you talk about a mixture of pitching, hitting, and then just consistency night after night, I mean, we're talking about a 30-1 baseball team at this point. You've been the voice of the Vols and on the broadcast team with Mike Keith for nearly 30 years now. You've covered a lot of SEC baseball. How many teams have you seen that have that mix of top-line pitching, top-line hitting, and just bring it every night consistency?
Well, if you want to take the role, it doesn't take long to do that. I mean, you're talking about championship caliber performance right now because Tennessee has been so strong in all facets of the game. You look at what the defense would probably be the one that is bringing up the rear just a little bit right now. They're kind of middle of the pack in the conference, but they are a top-tier offense. They are a top-tier pitching staff, and it's been remarkable. And as far as the start, there's not been a better one. Texas A&M was 29-2 through 31 games, so Tennessee is the first SEC team to actually be 30-1 through 31 games since expansion.
When you talk about hitting versus pitching, which do you think's the strong point of this year's team? I mean, you got them both, but if you had to put your money on one, what's carrying this team more than the other one, the pitching or the hitting?
Gosh, I think I would lean by just a nose with the pitching because they've done such a great job setting the tone. And while you have seen Missouri get after each starting pitcher with 2 runs in the first inning to start this weekend set, Tennessee's bullpen has been able to pick it up and limit what the Tigers have done through the rest of these first 2 games. So while it would be a very close race, I would go with pitching and how outstanding Tennessee's team has been Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. You don't have a loss among Chase Burns, Chase Dolander, and today's starter Drew Beam. So pitching to me gets the nod by just a nose.
And then you still have Blade Tidwell just kind of sitting out there, waiting in the wings.
Yeah, he worked 2 innings on Friday, so he was able to not necessarily factor in the decision, but still, he was key for Tennessee in limiting what the Tigers were doing as the Volunteers rallied to get the lead for the first time in the bottom of the 7th. Yeah, a freshman All-American started for you this past Tuesday. So, yeah, it's a wealth of riches right now. But the one thing that's impressive about this team, John, that really stands out is the fact they approach every game like it's the first game. Whether it's a Friday night, whether it's a midweek, it's all about today. It doesn't matter what happened yesterday. It doesn't matter what's lying in front of you for tomorrow. It's a team that is purely locked in on what they need to do today to win.
Can you tell us today, what do they need to do to win? Who's on the mound today? It's Sunday. I was going to say it's the rubber game in the series. Tennessee doesn't play. They don't mess around with rubber games. It doesn't get to that. They win the first 2 games, they win the series. So the series is already won. What's the story today as they wrap this thing up with Missouri?
Drew Beam, who last week was not only the freshman of the week, but also the SEC pitcher of the week, he gets back on the bump for the Big Orange, coming off a 2-hit complete game shutout win at Vanderbilt to finish off that sweep. Now, what's interesting is he'll be opposed by Missouri's Austin Morozes, who last year was pitching at Charlotte He has a win against Tennessee under his belt. He did so. They won 9-0 in that game when Tennessee traveled over to North Carolina for a midweek. So a pitcher today starts for Missouri that has a win over the Volunteers. But I do think that Tennessee is going to be right where it has been, and that's in position to get the win. And I think they'll be anxious to see if they can't fare better, because Moses and Charlotte beat Tennessee last year 9-0. So I think they'll be fired up to try and get today's win. And if Tennessee gets the win today, it will hold by itself the best start in conference play ever. They just matched and exceeded Florida with 11 straight wins since expansion, 11-0. But there is Ole Miss, Alabama, and LSU that at some point in time before expansion also started 11-0. A win today for Tennessee, and it is their own share of SEC history.
A remarkable run, John. We appreciate you joining us today to preview that. Thank you very much, buddy, and have a good call today.
Sure do appreciate it, John. Have a great show. Thank you.
All right. And Vince will allow you to get out the door and run over there just shortly. When we come back, let's continue talking about this baseball team. Just the historic record, the historic pace they're on. I'm going to show you the last 10 national championships teams and their records, the last 10 SEC championship team and their records. You're going to be surprised, I think, when you compare that to what Tennessee's doing this year. Come on back on the Sports Source. We'll discuss it.